So I want to talk about how to impress your PhD supervisor. I think this is a super important thing for all of you to understand. So how do you actually impress your PhD supervisor? And it comes down to one thing. Don't flake out. That's really what it comes down to, because you're going to be wanting to leave or do all sorts of other things. And most people that are in academia, so if you don't know me, I am a professor of business. I'm associate professor, which means I'm tenured. And most people want to flake out. It is incredibly difficult to be in academia. So what does flaking out means? You just check out. You don't, you become unresponsive, you ghost, you sort of ghost somebody. You just kind of like disappear. And that is far too common within academia. It just seems like you are distant or you're not part of the conversation. Really, to impress your PhD supervisor, you just have to show up and be consistent every day. And no matter what happens, you're there and you're reliable. Often what's going to happen with your PhD supervisor is that, your PhD supervisor has already been there. And so they understand what the requirements are. And so sometimes people are really unusual in terms of their, aggressiveness and all of that kind of stuff. But most of the time, they're just telling you what the truth is of what it actually takes to become an academic. And so it's going to feel frustrating and you're not going to want to be there and you're not going to want to be part of the conversation. But it's important for you to just be consistent and show up every single day. No matter when you arrange something, you just show up, you're there. Sometimes it's okay if you miss meetings and all of that kind of stuff. But for the most part, you just have to be consistent and reliable and you show up for it and you put in the work when you are not there. I know that seems like really obvious, but honestly, for the most part, anybody that's in academia completely understands what I'm talking about. It's not that it's not that that you have to have some unusual high standards. You just have to keep doing the work, and you're not going to want to feel like you're going to want to do the work. It sucks. I guarantee all of you are going to want to quit. You're not going to You're not going to want to be there. You're not going to want to see your supervisor because you don't want to let them down, and all of this kind of like horse crap. But honestly, it's just showing up and having that consistency and just kind of pushing everything back and just focusing on the idea and doing that day in and day out. No matter what happens, that you're showing up, you're there, you're reliable, you're consistent, and nobody else can stop that. And I think that's the super important thing. Now, there's something else that also can happen as a PhD student. What you will want to do is get pulled in many different directions. I guarantee you're going to want to get pulled in many different directions. You probably have already been there. But really what you need to do is focus down and focus on one thing. And people are going to tell you all of this kind of stuff, that you have to do this and you have to do that, and it doesn't matter. What matters is you're focusing on the one thing and you're working towards that. If you work on too many projects, you are going to become distracted and all over the place. You can't work on more than maybe 2 projects at a time. It becomes too difficult to manage that. I guarantee it. There's a certain limit of number of projects that you can work on, and people are going to tell you that you have to work on all these different projects. You're just going to end up disappointing everybody that's involved. So just be consistent, show up, work on the things that you need to do, and just be truthful with it. Be like open and truthful. This is exactly what's going on, and this is where I stand. And it's like, it seems obvious. All of this seems obvious, right? But that's what it really comes down to. And you're not going to want to, and it doesn't matter like how old you are and all of that kind of stuff. You're going to have all of these kind of things, and you really just need to be consistent and show up. So what does that mean to be consistent and show up? So you might arrange a meeting every week or every 2 weeks or something along those lines. But when you show up, you have a page written, right? Like that's all anybody is expecting. Like literally that's all they're expecting. And then they're going to see the page and throw it all out. And they're going to like tell you, this is what you need to do. And that's the process. It sucks. That's why you don't want to show up, is that they're going to say, this is not quite right. We should work on this and keep pushing towards it. To be honest, it is crazy making. It is exasperating, but the market, right? And you have to rely and you have to think that it's the market. It's not your supervisor. It's not what, your supervisor has so like there are people that have a degree of like, oof. But the market has this relentless standard that's like, here, you're going to want to be here. And what you have to do is kind of get up and incrementally get up to there. And that's honestly what it is. It's the market. Don't get mad at the PhD supervisor. Get mad at the market. It's just an astronomically stupid high level. And you have to figure out how to get there. And so you're going to feel, I guarantee, you're not going to want to do it. You're going to check out. Everybody always wants to do that. It takes the rare individual that's going to just be like, I want to check out. I don't want to be here, but I'm going to show up anyways. And if you can do that, if you can get in that mindset of that consistency, you show up anyways, and you do the work, and you do that every day, and you push away all of that sort of, I don't want to do this. I mean, honestly, this is like nuts, because all of you that are not in it, you don't understand. You do not get it. All of you that are in it, you completely understand what I'm talking about. There's so much difficulty involved in sort of sitting your butt down and getting this stuff written. And all of you are discounting how easy this is and all of that kind of stuff. I want you to try. Here's an exercise. And this is how much I know that you're not going to do it, because nobody ever does it. If you really think that this is easy, I want you to spend your weekends for the next 8 weeks. Just your weekends, that's it. Saturday and Sunday, and you can do 8 hours a day, or maybe do 6 hours a day. That's it, right? Like pretty low. And then spend those days trying to write something. I want you to write a novel. I want you to write a book. I want you to write a paper. I want you to write something, and do that for 6 hours a day. See how well that you want to actually do it. Nobody wants to do it. I guarantee you're not going to do it. If you do it, write comments below. I want to hear it. But you don't want to. I know you don't. Everybody says how easy it is until they actually do it. Good luck to you. So just know it is hard, and you have to be very consistent. And you know what? You just show up. That's it. That's how you impress your PhD supervisor. Crazy, right? That's it. That's all anybody's expecting. All right, take care and have a wonderful day. Bye.